Hi, for subscribers only. This is the bonus content where I'll talk a little bit about the essay in a more informal approach. And I wanted to talk about some things regarding Edgar Allan Poe. There's something about Poe and his relationship to police work I didn't touch on in the essay, and that is his chronic melancholy, his chronic depression that he seemed to carry throughout his life. He lost his parents when he was 3, and he suffered from a sense of abandonment from that, which I think a lot of our officers since 2020 have felt a sense of abandonment, sadly. But that's one similarity. He fought depression. He dealt with financial instability, social isolation, because he was a writer, and at the time he wasn't making something, and he didn't quite fit into the wealthy crowd. He didn't quite fit into the blue collar crowd, and it was isolating for him. Also, as a writer, he faced relentless criticism. So personal tragedy, suffering, tragedy, abandonment issues, isolation, social isolation, relentless criticism. I think there's a lot America's law enforcement could probably find in common with Edgar Allan Poe. And unfortunately, sadly, like too many of our young officers, he was found dead and alone. Alcohol problems. Perhaps in his case, the conspiracy theory is he was possibly murdered, but Occam's razor suggests it was probably substance abuse of some kind finally caught up with him. Most likely alcohol. But Poe was a gifted man, as well as being a troubled man. I have several volumes of his material here, and he wrote incredibly beautiful poetry. Some of his love poems are beyond what anybody could imagine when you say the name Edgar Allan Poe. He wrote horror, and he's probably the father of American horror stories as well. And of course, the famous crime stories. So he fit in a number of genres, and he did them all quite well. Very competent writer. But he struggled in his time, often living near ruin, and with people helping him out once in a while. And then sometimes he was doing okay. He was popular, but didn't quite hit that breakthrough. So, as our cop philosophy story, our brief, I guess there's a lot we could learn. We could learn about the tragedy that can befall when someone endures ongoing trauma, isolation, financial struggles, criticism, and has no one to talk to, no one understands. And we can learn about his resilience. He never quit. He stumbled a few times, but he never quit. And we can learn about his creativity. And that's probably what pulled him through many of these things, being able to express himself creatively. Easy for me to say. But I just wanted to touch on a few topics about him, share a few things. He had a cat. Who knew? Katerina would sit on his shoulder as he wrote, like many of these guys. But thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Please try and arm twist some other people, strong arm them into subscribing so I can get this going. And I hope some academy people and trainers out there can find it useful in some way. But thank you very much. This is Dan with Police Philosophy.